Have you ever been in a sales conversation when a prospect says to you, hey, I'll get back to you on this? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do and what to say when that happens. Sean here. What's happening? I hope you are doing fantastic today. Happy Thursday. Thursday is always a great day, right? Why? Because it's the best day to do prospecting work. It's the best day to close deals. Statistically proven over the last 20 plus years of my career, this is what I can assure you for sure is Thursday is typically the best day for sales and prospecting. So if you haven't made any time to do that today, please book yourself a little bit of time to actually go and do some prospecting. But today I wanted to cover something that's special. I had a question that came up actually from Gina, and Gina asked this: Sean, what do you say when a prospect says, I'll get back to you? What's so fascinating is I actually had this happen to me yesterday. And so I was in a conversation and I was going through this chat with a guy. We got to this place at the end where he had to leave the conversation a little bit early. And he said to me, he's like, hey, I'm just going to actually go, I'll get back to you on this. And whenever that happened, and whenever it used to happen to me, and before I actually got a little bit more smart when it came to sales professionalism and like learning how to communicate a little bit more clearly, one of the things I discovered was that I would just always let it go. So I would be in the conversation with the person and they'd say, hey, I'll get back to you on this. I'd be like, great, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And then I would end the conversation. Unfortunately, that's a very weak thing to do. So if you've been doing that, please stop immediately. Use this formula. It's very simple. The formula is actually, it's called ARC, A.R.C. So when somebody says, hey, I'll get back to you, you just want to create an arc between you and when they're going to get back to you. That's all you got to do. So let me walk through the steps of what ARC stands for, right? So prospect says, hey, I'll get back to you. And then you're going to turn around and say, first and foremost, I agree. This makes sense. You should actually think about this decision. It's pretty valuable. I know it's going to impact your world. So the A in ARC stands for agree. All you want to do is say, okay, that sounds cool. And however you agree, that's the one thing you do. Secondly, R, you want to restate what they're doing. So you say, okay, cool. So again, hey, I agree. This is something that you should probably get back to me on because I can understand how it's going to impact your business. Do you understand how it would impact your business as well, right? Confirm, get the yes momentum going no matter what. And then say, just so I'm, I just want to make sure that what you're going to get back to me on. Like you said, you were going to go, you have this problem in your world. You needed to kind of go back and do a little bit of due diligence or whatever the case is that you're restating of why they're going to get back to you. Restate it however you do that in your own words. And then lastly, just get clarity. See, this is the one piece that I missed out most of the time when I was doing this. What would happen was, as I would say, okay, cool, I'll look forward to hearing from you. And then I would end the conversation. Then I got a little better and I would say, hey, I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. That sounds great. I agree. This is something you should talk about. And I just so I have my head straight. I want to make sure that what you're actually going to get back to me on is this. Boom, boom, boom. And I said that next. And then I was like, hey, wait a minute. What is actually, what's in the clarity? This is the part that is so valuable, is say, I just want to understand on my side. So I set my expectations correctly. You say you're going to get back to me. How long do you need to get back to me? And then you just wait, because what they're going to do is they're going to be like, oh, well, I need a couple of days. Or they're going to say, I need a week, or they're going to say whatever time frame it is and say, okay, that's fine. And then you just mark it down in your calendar that that's what they said. And the last hook question, this is like the bonus question that nobody tells you to ask, which I'm telling you to ask, is after you get clarity on, hey, just so I set my expectations clearly, like when can I expect to hear back from you is the first question. And they'll say some time frame and you say, okay, perfect. Now let's say for whatever reason that doesn't happen, what should we do? Because now what you've done is you've actually eliminated your personal, what they call cognitive dissonance or buyer's remorse, if you will, from it's like reverse buyer's remorse, because the sales pro can now say, you said you were going to get back to me in this time. What happens if I don't hear from you? What should we do? And you put all the pressure back on the prospect, because the prospect's going to then say, oh, well, if you don't hear from me in this time, hit me up. Now that's going to give them a signal to say, okay, look, I got to get back to this guy. And if you don't get back to the guy, they're letting you down. And so the flow of the conversation or the energy should be, hey man, I'm really excited to work with you. I know you're a fit to work with me. I know I can solve this problem for you. I understand you got to do your diligence. You said you're going to get back to me. That's great. You're going to go and you're going to talk to this person. You're going to do this thing. You're going to do whatever the restating is that they're going to do, and say, just so I'm clear, how long is it going to take for you to get back to me? And they're going to say time frame. And then you say, last question is, okay, perfect. What happens if I don't hear from you in that time period. What should I do? And then they'll give you an answer, and then you just stick to the plan. And that way you're keeping your word. And when they break their word, guess what? They're going to feel bad, and you just hit them up anyways, because sometimes this happens, right? One other thing I'll share with you is this: 80% of sales are made after the 12th interaction. Let me say that again. 80% of sales are made after the 12th interaction with a prospect. 12. I think it's actually about 86% of every sales professional, every salesperson, or just salespeople, traditional salespeople, most of them quit after 3 to 4, maybe 5 interactions. And so if you're that relentless sales pro or sales ascender and you say, hey, listen, I understand. And if you just set up your process to say, I understand the deal is not going to close until I have had at least 12 touches, 80% of the time I'm going to close those deals, you are consistently going to close more deals than anyone else that you're competing against, working with, selling for, anything of that sort, even if it's your own business. So if you're looking to increase your close percentages and your close ratios, when they say, hey, I'll get back to you, you just use ARC, agree, restate, and get clarity. And that last hook question is, hey, what happens if I don't hear from you in that allotted time frame? They'll say whatever it is, they're going to give you the instructions, and then you just play ball with them. There's no pressure, and it's just then you go on to the next person, because there's so many people in the world that you can crush it with. And with that said, my friends, that is how I deal with I'll get back to you. This is a really valuable one. I think a lot of people get this all the time. Faithful Facebook user says, I found it much easier just to repeat back, you'll get back to me, and then you'll be silent, right? So it's kind of as you're asking the question, you'll get back to me, and then that would say, hey, what does that mean, right? That's the same way of saying it without saying it. So I think that's an awesome answer for sure. So with that said, you guys have just been tuned up. You should have the ARC methodology of how to respond when someone says, hey, I'll get back to you. What do you do, right? Agree, restate what they're actually going to be getting back to you on, and then get clarity on when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen. And that last hook question again is, what happens if I don't hear from you in that time period? What should I do? And you just put your hands up, and then they're going to give you an answer. And now you have a very clear future of what you can do next. You've just been tuned up. Happy Thursday. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and I will definitely catch you next time.